Hello, good morning. What is today? Tuesday. Tuesday, I think it's the 2nd of December. Well, I'm back here in Bulacan. Last time you saw me, I was in the Gillian, but I'm here, back in Bulacan. Guys, on a serious note, I've been thinking, as you do, and my thought for today is about you. About have you ever stopped to consider? Have you ever stopped to imagine what life will be like when you're gone? Have you ever thought about the fact that maybe where you live, where you came from, you're not able, when you're dead, contribute to the family anymore, except maybe the car you owned, maybe the motorbike, maybe a small amount of money in a bank account that you've had joint access to. But otherwise, whoop, it's all gone. Consider for a moment you met your Filipina, and so many of you do online. And if you stop and think for a minute, have you noticed how when you look behind, how the hollow blocks aren't plastered, how the roof appears to have a light coming around it when the picture shows high enough on the wall? They're living in a very basic home. Often it's only rented. Often, if it is theirs, it's in a dilapidated state. But nevertheless, it's where they live. And like a knight in shining armor, you come into town, you scoop her up, you lift her up out of that life. You take her to this little castle. Maybe you're renting it, maybe you're building it, maybe you bought it, but it's a castle. To her, you're her shining light. The future looks good. You live your life for what is left of it, and you spend that time having happiness shared around. No problem. Sure, you might be a bit more frugal than others, but nevertheless, that is your life. You go to supermarkets, you buy the frozen food, you buy the best meat. Some of you maybe don't want to go to the market because you think, ooh, all the flies, the heat, the hustle and bustle. You want cleanliness. You go to SM or Walter Mart to buy your stuff. Well, that's fine. Nobody says you can't. But remember what I said? She used to live like that. She now lives like a princess. Maybe she has children, growing up children, maybe adult children. All need to be fed. You're there to provide. It doesn't matter whether you die. It doesn't matter if you separate. If she kicks you out. It doesn't matter. Because the same thing that I'm talking about applies. Life after death, or life after relationships gone sour. What does she live on when you're gone? Maybe she had a job, maybe she didn't. But if she had a job, what do you think she's going to live on now? What she had before? Remember, what she had before, she still lived in this. She still worried about how she was going to pay for the one light bulb in the room at night, the power bill, even if it was 500. 600 pesos a month. No fridge. Now she has a fridge. Now she has aircon. Now she has fans. She has a good life. She's told everybody about the good life. Tomorrow you're gone. What is left but fear? She's a Filipino. She'll bounce back. Of course she will. Maybe you've moved on. Maybe you have a new girlfriend. How do you sleep at night knowing that they're cold, or should I say hot? No power. No food. Should you worry? Some might say, her problem. She deserves it. Does she? You took her from what she knew before was life. You took her from what she knew she had to do. You've taught her a new way of life. You've shown her a new way of life. Now you've dumped her in the shit. What do you do, guys? Are you going to have 2 wives? 2 girlfriends? Have you got a secret bank account when you're dead that you can send her money from heaven? None of those things really will work. They don't have internet from heaven. But jokes aside, it's a very serious subject. We come here to start a new life, to settle down for the final chapter. And if it does go bad, maybe you haven't died yet, but it hasn't gone bad. You've left. She's on her own. Maybe a child. Still on the breast, maybe. Okay, your friends would say, what did you do that for? Oh, she told me to leave. So you left? You abandoned her? Your child? Some of you guys do that. Is it right? You know that. You know, we come here to make a new life. To show that we're better than some of the scumbags out there who are just coming here to use Filipina. We show moral high ground, hopefully. We show caring and consideration. If we don't, then we shouldn't be here. Even on holiday, don't come here. You're doing more harm to young Filipinos who have so much faith in what they believe will be you, their savior. I don't know really what the answer is, so I pose that question to you. How do you feel about life after you're gone, whether separation or whether death? But just remember, my advice to all Filipina, as much as you might think he's gorgeous and handsome, just like myself, of course, consider if my pension stops when I die, am I still that gorgeous, handsome man that you fell for? Or am I that loser? Maybe. Oh, look, they're going to use this one. Americans, not all, in fact, the majority who come here to settle a long time don't all have $5,000 and $10,000 a month to live on. That's maybe a bit high, but you know what I mean. But just remember that a lot of people come here on what they call, and I'm using American expression now, Social Security. They don't have military pensions. They don't have private 401s. They are just surviving on Social Security. It might be 1,500, maybe only just 1,000. That's enough to live. Some of you might say, oh, it's only survival. Well, okay, it's survival. Don't we want to survive when we're living? But for a Filipina to have that kind of money coming in every month is a saving. It's a savior to what she had before. And we just have to remember that a lot of us come here with Social Security. English, Australian, New Zealanders, and Europeans. A lot don't have private pensions. I'm not condemning anybody for that, but I'm just reminding you, and you Filipinos especially, choose wisely if you're looking for a continuous stream of money. I'm not saying it in a scamming way, I'm just saying from a purely practical. Look at it as a business. Would you go into business with someone who only had a certain amount of capital and nothing else to follow up? What happens if the business takes longer to get off the ground? What happens if the business can't get off the ground and it goes bust? Isn't that like picking the wrong foreigner? The one who cannot provide into your old age? There is no Social Security payment here, really, not enough to live on. So if you are lucky enough to find, yes, an American who can transfer part or all of his Social Security, maybe you can have a child with him, so the child is paid extra money as well. Think about these things, inquire about these things before you put that ring on your finger with your foreigner. English people cannot transfer their pensions to you. Just doesn't happen. Private pensions is a different thing. Military pensions, different thing. But Social Security do not pay for the widow in another country. They just don't. If you're old and you haven't got your pension yet, and you live in Australia and New Zealand, you might get some help. But don't bank on it, because it's not always there to help you. Think wisely, guys, and think wisely, girls, too. Have a good day. Bye now.